Hello, and welcome to episode 5 of Cast of Strong Style. I'm your host, Don Delarente. I'm joined as always by Moto. Hello, Moto.
Hey, 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 how are you, Don?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Glad you could join me.
Of course, I'm always glad to be here and excited to go over all the events that have happened. We have a lot to go through.
That's right. Of course, the WrestleCast presents Cast of Strong Style. We can be found on cspn.us. You can also find us on wrestlecast.tumblr.com. You can also find us on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and SoundCloud. You can also find us on any app that allows you to subscribe, download, and listen to podcasts. So, Moto, we're going to get right into it as we had Wrestling Dontaku. At the top of the week, it was on Wednesday, as it was the Independence Day, basically, for Japan. And they have their big day and week of celebration. And this is one of the biggest events that happens, is the Wrestling Day.
Yes, and it's a Golden Week. Very, very big thing. Everyone's off and it's busy in the streets. It's really nice to see.
Right. So we're going to start off with our dark match. We have Yoshitatsu and Kawato versus Oka and the KOB.
King
Kitamura.
of beef. King of beef.
I just like to hear you say it. You have so much passion and zest in your voice. I can never match
So
your
that's the
enthusiasm.
excuse. Okay. Well, it is the King of beef,
Never match your
Kitamura.
enthusiasm. That's right. Yoshitatsu applies the Yoshitatsu lock, and him and Kawato get the win. I don't. Yoshitatsu does nothing for me, even though he is with my favorite young boy.
He's same. He's just lost. He's still with this Bullet Club Hunter gimmick, and it's just irrelevant. He's just irrelevant. I thought the excursion to CMLL would do something for him. It's done nothing. He's looking better in the ring, but he still, as a whole, just does nothing for me. In terms of the match, I like that Kawato likes to stare down Kitamura. Um, and there was a spot where the King of Beef like chopped Kawato so hard that he fell back and took a bump, and Kawato sold it well. That was basically the highlight for me. Other than that, it's your standard dark match, and I don't know what they're gonna do with Yoshitatsu. Just send him off somewhere.
Yeah, throw him off the end. Excursions never to be found again. Send them off when they send off this set of young boys. Send them off again, but just don't bring them back.
I agree. I mean, you know what? Just send them where they sent Bone Soldier,
There you go.
off
Haven't
into
thought,
the sunset.
right. Haven't thought about him in a long time, so that's a good call back. Our next match, Chaos versus Bullet Club, as we had Yoshihashi and Will Ospreay versus Yujiro and Chase Owens. Yoshi in his wig fights off the package pile driver from Chase Owens. Then Yoshi Owens in the butterfly lock, and Owens taps out.
I'm glad you said Yoshihashi and his wig. I was waiting for the and his wig. I'm very glad you said that. Yujiro came out with the Moschino girls, I called them. They did nothing for me. He should
Nothing.
just rely on Peter because she's like hot. I mean, the point of Yujiro and being the Tokyo pimp, you have a hot girl, right? So they're not. They just did nothing for me. Anyway, I see that Chase Owens might have listened to my advice because he changed his look. He doesn't look like a budget Sami Zayn anymore, um, which is good. I like that Yoshihashi had a nice arm drag to Yujiro. There were active cheers for Ospreay. He's like really, really over at this point. New Japan, I hope, really does something with him this year. He's over. He's done so well in whatever match he's thrown into. They've got to do something with him. Chase, I'm finding that he's inconsistent with his offense. There are times where he'll hit and it doesn't seem like it should hurt as much as it does. And then other times he comes with a strong style. So I think Chase needs to improve a bit there. Overall, good match. Show a good showing for Ospreay. Good match.
Yeah, yeah. I think that they're really trying to build up Will Ospreay going into the best of the Super Juniors, and he's had a really good run, like I said on the last episode, and I thought it would continue here, and it did. And of course, he made a really good showing, even though he didn't get the ultimate pin. He did have, his flurry of moves and his usual just wow type offense that just gets everybody on their feet. So, good opening match to start off the actual show.
I agree.
Next up, Next up, come on, give me the introductions.
Tiger,
Mask and
Tiger, Tiger the Sun.
Mask W and Makabe versus Nagata, Nakanishi, and Jushin Thunder Liger. Makabe hits Nakanishi with the lariat, then follows that up with the King Kong knee drop on Nakanishi, and they get the win. So, Tiger, and Makabe are your winners.
Of course, I'm glad to see that. I'm glad Tiger Daddy did not eat the pin. It was a fun match overall. The both the Tigers. I like the spot where they were going. They're gonna act like they were going over the top rope and chose not to. And and then Liger, goes from the backbreaker to the surfboard. Yes, not surfboard, but surfboard.
Yes.
For Tiger Mask the fourth. I like the match, of course, and I'm a big fan of both Tigers. I hope that whoever this mysterious wrestler that is Tiger Mask W, I know who he is, really signs with New Japan so that we see more of him because he's over.
Right. He's doing his freelance right now. He's exploring.
Just sign with New Japan. Just sign with New Japan. You know you like it. Just come on down. Make it permanent.
He's doing market research. That's smart of him.
It is. It is. But, I'm sure that New Japan would pay a good hefty sum to have him there full time.
True. Very true. All right. So next up, we get Chaos versus Suzuki Gun in the form of Goto, Yano, Jado, and Roppongi Vice versus Minoru Suzuki, Taka Michinoku, Kanemaru, Taichi, and El Desperado. Rocky Romero breaks up Suzuki's attempt to hit the Gotch piledriver on Goto. Goto hits the Ishigoroshi on Taka Michinoku, followed by the GTR, and Chaos gets the win. Goto and Suzuki then have a post-match brawl. Suzuki, in his anger that Goto got the best of him in the brawl, knocked out the KOB as he was leaving the ring.
I'm going to address the match, and then I will address the Demon's actions. Okay? In terms of the match, I liked Roppongi Vice, of course. There was a moment where Beretta actually pushed Rocky out of the way to do a double clothesline. They fought for a bit. Please, guys, don't fight. I like you as a tag team. Don't break up for me. What was interesting is that El Desperado is now adopting Taichi's antics. He pulled out what looked like to be a screwdriver and used the handle to mess with Jado's eyes. I don't know who told him to do that. He should not do that anymore. He doesn't need to do all that. Also with Yano, with comedic antics, it was hilarious as usual. He took the turnbuckle pad off. El Desperado runs to the corner. He throws the pad to Taichi, complains to the ref, in that classic spot, and then he takes the other off as the ref is trying to settle everything. The story of it really was the Goto Suzuki bit of it. It was really good stuff. I think they're aiming for a rematch, and Goto picked up the win, and Suzuki came back being mad with the brawl, and then he decided to drag the King of Beef and knock him out. I mean, he laid him out like Friday. You got the F out, out. And I'm just like, why would you do that? Why?
You're lucky I couldn't find that gift anywhere on the internet because I was looking for it for
You
like
lucky too,
7.
I'd have knocked you out if you posted that to me.
So I just had to find the Friday. Damn! Because I wasn't expecting that. I was watching that early on Saturday morning, and it was just like, oh my.
I feel like you take some joy in the King of Beef being knocked out, Don.
I didn't take any joy in it. It shocked the hell out of me. And then when I realized it was the KOB, I was like, oh, let me check on Moto, make sure she's okay. I know that was very traumatic experience for you.
I am distraught. I am disturbed. And Suzuki, if I ever see you, I will run the other way because you're a demon from hell.
That's right.
But you got me mad, sir.
Yeah,
Really mad.
That would be wise for lots of people to go the other way.
I don't play with demons.
Small note: Paul Azenby, who has been Stone Cold Steve Austin's stuntman, who has been an MMA fighter, who has been a pro wrestler, basically said that yes, as a young boy, that he was in the unenviable position of being tortured by Minoru Suzuki in the dojos, and that yes, he is no joke.
I believe it. Look at his face. He's got a strong jaw, strong cheekbones. That man looks like he chews glass and loves it. You punch him in the face, he laughs. That's a demon. That's a demon, sir.
So we're going to go from a demon to the American Nightmare as Cody faces David Finlay. David Finlay tries to do the spinning uppercut off the ropes, but Cody catches him in the crossroads and gets the win. Cody then cuts a post-match promo asking for bigger and stronger opponents.
This match, of course, it went the way it went as we predicted. I felt that Cody was more over during Wrestle Kingdom with the crowd. Other than that, he just seems sharper, more clever, more mind tricks. He really enjoys playing the heel, and you can see it. Definitely see it with everything that he did in this match. Just a lot of antics. He really had Finlay's number. I mean, Finlay was there to make him look good in front of the crowd. I did note that Finlay actually got out of the crossroads once, but again, he went for a second one and fell victim to it. What I liked about the post-match promo is this is what Cody said. He said, "Your biggest nightmare happens when your eyes are open, and it's me." And I believe him. I like him as a heel. I like this run of his, and I'm glad he's with Ring of Honor. Seems like a good fit for him.
Right. So, more to come from Cody. Next, we get Juice Robinson and Kushida versus Naito and Takahashi.
The ticking time bomb.
Correct. Takahashi gives Kushida the running Death Valley driver into the corner. Takahashi then follows with the time bomb on Kushida and I think this is pretty much it for Kushida and Takahashi, because that was, another destruction basically.
Yeah, this is definitely it. I mean, Takahashi won the feud hands down, and the match itself I liked it a lot. There was a lot of things I noticed here. And the thing is, I don't think Juice will be going after Naito as well in the future. It seems like that's over too. Naito made it look like he was going to hit Kushida, but ended up spitting in Juice's face. Like, of course, that's typical Naito, but it's still crazy to see. I noticed that every time Takahashi was in trouble, Naito would come to help, like immediately. And I just found that very strange. There's just a lot of strange things going. And I do have a little mini theory, but I will let you come in with your thoughts, and then I'll come in with my theory here. John?
Well, I just thought it was a fun match. I enjoyed it. I think Juice Robinson and Kushida are pretty awesome together. And of course, Naito and Takahashi, I mean, they're LIJ's finest. So, I mean, a fun match. I pretty much, I didn't think that Takahashi just dominate Kushida again like that. Kushida did have a little bit more offense match, but not much. So good win for Lij. Keeps them and headed where they're headed.
I agree with those points. And it is time for a mini theory. Takahashi wants the Intercontinental title. He wants it. And I don't think he has a problem going up against Naito for it. I know you think, why would he go against his stable leader? Because he's crazy. Now, why would I get this idea? During the entrance, Naito actually put up his belt and let Takahashi listen to it or talk to it. He talked to the belt and patted it lovingly. After the match as well, Naito let him talk to the belt again and let him hold it. And he walked to the back with the belt, by the way. So he had both belts walking to the back, and he is stroking the belt lovingly. And I'm telling you, he liked the look of that belt. He liked the feel of that belt. And Takahashi's a madman. I think he's going to go for that belt later after the whole Tanahashi thing. But I think he wants that belt.
Be interesting to see how they play that, if they're going to Jay for your theory, or if there will be a title change.
It would be something. I think a match between them would be awesome. I've also noticed that Naito stopped and looked to see where Takahashi was. And normally Naito wouldn't do that. He would just walk in the back not caring. So I think he's noticed Takahashi's affinity for that belt too.
Okay, well, we will see. Machine versus Tenko versus the Gorillas of Destiny for the IWGP Tag Team titles. War Machine hits the fallout on Tenzan and gets the pin to retain the IWGP Tag Team titles. After the match, the Gorillas of Destiny beat down War Machine and issue a challenge for the tag titles. So I want you to acknowledge my genius, as I said that War Machine had done enough to, be the champions for a little while longer, and they proved themselves. And then Gorillas of Destiny said, those still are belts, punk.
I will acknowledge that you were correct in your assessment and that you were smart. And that's it. I'm not going to call you a genius because that's my title. But you were right. I was wrong. That's all you're going to get from me, buddy.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. Because it'll be. So, I'm fair with that.
But in terms of the match, it was very well paced. I really liked the pace. War Machine was more over than I thought. You thought better of that. I noticed there was a good spot where Ro actually picked up Tama and slammed him down. And then he picked up Hansen, who's like huge. Guy's like 350, 400 pounds. And he slams him on Tama as well. The crowd went wild for that. I like that Ro's punches were powerful. And I also noticed how we talked about how Tama would be good as a singles competitor. This reinforced that for me. I think that Tangaroa is kind of left behind, and they really should break up at this point. I'm convinced now more than ever that they should break up and Tama should go on his own. But a great match.
Wow. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first.
I'm just saying. Tama looks really good in the ring by himself.
Next up, we had Taguchi, Tanahashi, and Ricochet versus Sanada, Evil, and Bushi for the never open-weight six-man titles. Taguchi gets Bushi to tap to the ankle lock, but there is no ref to see it. Bushi sprays the mist and roasts Taguchi up, but only gets a near fall. Bushi hits the code breaker off the ropes, but Tanahashi and Ricochet make the save. Bushi hits his second code breaker off the ropes to Taguchi and gets the pin, and LIJ are the new never openweight six-man tag team champions.
Woo, 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 woo. As we predicted.
Yes, 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 yes. See, my genius rubbed off on you on that one.
What? You are out of line and out of pocket, sir. That is incorrect. I am a genius, and I knew that LIJ would win this. I mean, what else are they going to do with them? I mean, I'm glad they won. Great match. Ricochet, of course, outmaneuvered Sonata and Evil with his kicks. Taguchi with his hip attacks. I loved it. Tana got some good offense on Evil. It was just a good back and forth match. We know what's next for Ricochet. We know what's next for Tanahashi. Again, I ask, what's next for Taguchi? I mean, what's next?
Well, we'll get to that a little bit later. Foreshadowing, man. Foreshadowing.
Ooh.
Now we roll into match of the night. Kenny Omega versus Ishii. Kenny hits Ishii with the high knee. Omega follows the high knee with the brainbuster for a near fall. Kenny then gives Ishii the one-winged angel to get the win. And yeah, this match is definitely in line with their G1 match from last year. Fantastic. Like I said, this was the match of the night. They went at it. We had Ishii trying to give Kenny the one-winged angel a couple of times. Once on the floor. Yeah, it was pretty. It was pretty dope.
I mean, one of the match of the year contenders, in my opinion. I love their bouts. I did not think that this would be one of my favorite feuds of the year. This match really kind of started off. It went from like good match of the night to match of the month to match of the year. It just kept escalating in quality. I mean, this was basically Kenny and his running knees and a snap suplex versus Ishii's, headbutts. It was just back and forth. And Kenny seemed psychologically wanted Ishii's attention. He would spit in his face at times. He would slap him. He's healing it up with the antics. There was a spot where Ishii hit Kenny with a T-Hawk air headbutt. And if you don't know who T-Hawk is, go play Street Fighter 2 on SNES, okay? Please. It's a great headbutt. Ishii won't be put down. It was just a great match. And Ishii's lariats, I can't even. Just watch it. Do yourself a favor and watch the match. You will not be disappointed. You won't be. And kudos to Kenny Omega for winning.
Yes, Kenny Omega is starting to get over as a good guy.
Yes, he is. Though I think Ishii might be injured. The way he was walking back I didn't like it. He didn't seem to know where he was. He didn't even go through the curtain. He went around and he was stumbling. I hope he's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he took a couple of bad falls on his neck there and his head a couple of times, and the cross body that Kenny gave to him, where Kenny almost flew into the crowd.
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad, and we love these matches, but we always hope that the wrestlers are okay. But still, a great match to watch.
Right. Now we get into our main event: Bad Luck Fale versus Okada for the IWGP Heavyweight title. Okada counters the Bad Luck Fall with the Hurricane Rana. Then Okada hits the Rainmaker. Okada holds Fale's wrist and hits a second Rainmaker. Okada then hits Fale with a German suplex, hangs onto the wrist, and hits a Rainmaker to finish off Fale. Match. The Bullet Club comes out to check on Fale. Okada calls out Kenny Omega and challenges him to the rematch at Dominion. Kenny Omega plays to the crowd, and then he accepts.
Whew. I want to say something, and I'm going to say it. I was 100% wrong. Okay, there I said it. Hopefully, this will be the last time I will say this about Bad Luck Fale. This match really finally earned my respect for Bad Luck Fale because one, I like the opening package. Please watch it. He wants to help troubled kids with wrestling, and I like that about him. Um, in terms of the match, Fale used his weight accordingly, and he was a bit technical at times. He would either stand on Okada's back, using the rope for leverage, or just sit on his back. He just used his strengths to really power over Okada, and you can see that Okada was just being weakened and weakened, and he would just work on his back, which I liked a lot. Um, a lot of bear hugs from Fale as well. I like that his power was just on display. With Okada, he was in serious mode, 100% in serious mode and riled up. The crowd was firmly behind Okada, and the story here was that this is just another part of Okada being damaged and worn down. It was his back this time, and he just seems like a desperate man clinging on to this title. I'm going to say it right here. Him calling out Kenny like this is going to be his undoing. And I think that Kenny is going to take advantage of the now really weakened Okada after all these defenses.
Very interesting look at things. I thought this match was great based on the way that they had all those near teases for the bad luck fall. And I thought that they actually worked better than having a bunch of near falls, because Okada was able to get away from it, like I think 3 times when it looked like he was gonna, definitely get it. Especially that last time where he turned it into a Hurricane Rana. Again, I thought Bad Luck Fale rose to the occasion. It was a big match, and he showed up huge. Okada's just a big money player. Anytime he's in a main event, you know what you're going to get. And like you, I thought it was an awesome twist to see Okada call out Kenny Omega. I think it looks like you can see the people, how much they've taken to Kenny since the match that they had at Wrestle Kingdom, and I think that's starting to eat at him a little bit. I don't think he's liking the fanfare that Kenny Omega is getting because he's the champion.
I would agree with that, but I also feel like it wouldn't surprise me if Okada felt that he's been through all these people. I mean, look at all his defenses. Bad Luck Fale. I mean, Shibata. He overcame Shibata. It wouldn't surprise me if he thought, well, I can overcome these people. I can overcome Kenny again because
Right.
I fought this hard. But, this is two tales here. You have the champion who's been just defending, and you have Kenny who is at the peak at Wrestle Kingdom and has had to claw his way back up like Shibata. But the thing is, I think Kenny would learn from his mistakes from Wrestle Kingdom. And I think that with Okada being weakened at this point, it's going to go Kenny's way. Just my opinion.
Okay. Well, it was a heck of a card. I really enjoyed it. Thought that the matches were really good. The last 3 matches, especially, everything kind of builds to the crescendo in New Japan. So highly enjoyable. And again, if you don't have the service, it's definitely worth the $9.99 to check out the service.
Worth a lot more than $9.99. $9.99 is a steal. So go to ngpwworld.com. $9.99 a month. I mean, come on, guys. Come on. That's like what, 5 cups of coffee? Do it for yourself. Do it.
Right. Again, I'd like to remind everybody that you are listening to Cast a Strong Style, and we can be found on cspn.us or wrestlecast.tumblr.com, also on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Stitcher Radio. So now we're going to get into what they previewed inside of the Dontaku event. Was they had the list of the contestants in this year's Best of the Super Juniors. So we're going to start off with the A block. In the A block, we have Jushin Thunder Liger, Ricochet, Dragon Lee, Will Ospreay, the villain Marty Scurll, Taichi, Takamikanochu, and Takahashi.
The
The
ticking
champion.
time bomb.
In Block B, we have Kushida, Desperado, Tiger Mask, Taguchi, Bushi, Kanemaru, Volador Jr., and ACH. The Best of the Super Juniors starts on May the 17th, and of course, we will be covering it here on Cast of Strong Style. So, Moto,
Yes.
thing get showcased in this month-long tournament.
I think that this is gonna be the tale of Kushida's redemption, in my opinion. That's gonna be the whole tale of the Best of Super Junior tournament. With the blocks, Block A seems a lot more stacked than Block B. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was like an underdog to do it. I think Taichi will be eliminated early. Same for Michinoku. Liger might go farther than what people think. Um, but there's a ton of talent though. It's kind of crazy too, because the last tournament really was a surprise. So I'm not sure. We have Will Ospreay too, Ricochet, Takahashi. I mean, it's crazy. And Block B we have Kushida, El Despy. I definitely think it's Block B is going to be all about Kushida though, with everybody that we have in Block B.
All right. It seems like it would be weird to tell that story about Kushida coming back, even though it seems like they would be trying to maybe move into maybe Ricochet again. So maybe that'll be the final Ricochet and Kushida for the you know, the new guard versus old guard.
That would be a good match.
Yeah, because the ultimate prize is that you get a shot at the champion.
So then maybe. Well, don't count out Will Ospreay though.
This is true. He is the defending champion.
So I think Will Ospreay will go far here, but Ricochet, Will Ospreay, and Kushida for sure. Everybody else, it'll be a shock to see, and maybe Marty Scurll for the shock factor, but I don't see anybody else really going that far.
Right. Just be sure that to watch the Dragon Lee versus Takahashi match whenever that comes up, because yeah, that's gonna be a barn burner.
Of course, I mean they nearly killed each other last time. They always seem to nearly kill each other every time they meet. So of course that's going to be great. The whole tournament's going to be great though, I think.
Yes, yes, I agree. I agree. H in New Japan. And so we have the card here. We're going to run that down and just kind of get some thoughts from Moto and myself. We have Kushida versus Dalton Castle versus Silas Young versus Bobby Fish in a four-way. Interesting match.
That's going to be a good match to see. I think a lot of surprises will be out. Of course, Takahashi's going to, bring his craziness. I'm looking forward to this match.
Yes, Dalton Castle and the boys are fantastic. Bobby Fish is one of my favorites. Hopefully they can reform Ray Dragon. I don't know what Kyle O'Reilly's doing. He's been kind of below the radar here in the last few months. I know he's kind of like a free agent, but he hasn't made any news. And Silas Young, the last real man gimmick, is real strong. So yeah, they should tear the house down. Good opening match. Next up, we got Hangman Page versus Frankie Kazarian.
I'm gonna go with Frankie Kazarian for this one. I like Hangman Page, but I'm still gonna go with Frankie Kazarian. It'll be a decent match.
Right. We've got Will Ospreay versus Jay White.
Will Ospreay, Will Ospreay, Will Ospreay.
Yeah, the spring of Will Ospreay continues. But hey, it's good to see Jay White get good spot on the card and a good person to wrestle, and he'll get a chance to showcase his skills.
Mm-hmm.
So next we have War Machine versus versus Jonathan Gresham and Chris Sabin.
I am looking forward to this match a lot. War Machine with their power, um, Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley with their, technical high flying. It's going to be great.
Yes, I still think Evil and Sonata might find a way to cheat and off.
You know they will.
Uh, One of the highlights of the card, Tanahashi versus Adam Cole.
Adam Cole, baby.
Ace versus Ace.
Uh, hmm. I I'm not sure as to who's gonna win this one. I'm looking forward to it either way. I might go with Tana for this, but I do love me some Adam Cole.
Yeah, I agree. I think Tanahashi might win this one as well. So for the ROH television title, we have the champion, Marty Scurll, versus the challenger, Matt Sydal.
I think that I'm gonna go with Marty Scurll to retain because Matt Sydal, while high flying, while great in the ring, Marty Scurll and his antics, he could just outthink his opponent, and I think he's gonna retain here.
Yep, I agree with you as well. I think Marty Scurll is going to retain his title. This match should be pretty fun. We've got Bully Ray and the Briscoe brothers versus Goto and Roppongi Vice for the ROH six-man tag team titles.
I want to say Roppongi Nice will win, but I think Zapongi Dice will lose this, unfortunately. Yeah, yeah, I see the Briscoes winning this, but it'll be a
Yeah,
fun match.
the Briscoes and Bully Ray. That should be a lot of violence. So yeah, that should be pretty fun. Another fun match: the Young Bucks versus Naito and Bushi for the ROH tag team titles.
I am going to be so happy to see the Young Bucks again. Um, I'm gonna go with Naito and Bushi, and I know that's crazy. I know that's crazy, but it wouldn't surprise me if they did something shocking like that.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna have to go against your genius this time, though, and I'm gonna stick with the Young Bucks. Holding.
I mean, they are one of the greatest tag teams, so I won't fault you for that.
Thank you, thank you. And our main event will be Christopher Daniels versus the American Nightmare, Cody versus Jay Lethal in a triple threat for the ROH heavyweight title.
Jay Lethal's gonna lose. I think this is good. What? He's gonna lose. Okay, he's just let's face it. He's gonna lose. Um, I want Cody to win. Want. So I'm gonna go with him. Snap decision.
Uh, I hate to hear you say that Jay Lethal is going to lose because they shot some really cool TV this past week. Their closing angle was really good. Um, Jay Lethal was on commentary. There was a tag team match. It was Dalton Castle and Christopher Daniels versus Cody Rhodes, or excuse me, Cody and Adam Cole. Adam Cole takes a hike like halfway through the match. He comes back. It looks like Christopher Daniels is going to get the win on Cody. Gives him a super kick. Cody gives him the crossroads. They get the win. Then comes back down, talk some trash to Christopher Daniels. That makes Jay Lethal come out, run him away. Then Jay Lethal has some words for Christopher Daniels because he wants a one-on-one match. And then that means that Cody Rhodes can come down and sneak attack Jay Lethal. They kind of, Cody Rhodes gets the better of both of them. But that leads to Jay Lethal giving Cody Rhodes and Christopher Daniels the lethal injection as it goes off the air. So build up for
I just don't see it for Jay. I like Jay Lethal, but I don't see him winning this match.
He's the greatest first generation wrestler ever.
What? Nah, dog.
He's the he's the greatest first generation wrestler ever.
I don't see it. Sorry, ain't happening. Nah, dog. It's a no for me, dog. It's a no for me.
Okay, well, maybe in a few months and weeks and years of doing this program together, that'll rub off some Jay Lethal appreciation.
I do appreciate him as a wrestler. I do like the lethal injection. But again, it's a no for me, dog.
Okay. Well, at this point, what could be a yes for you is to support our sponsors. Go to cspn.us, click on the tab that says support our sponsors, and do some Mother's Day shopping with Amazon.com. I know it's very hard to get the lady that birthed you and gave you life a gift to represent your love for her, but Amazon just may have something that you can express yourself with. Just a trinket or a token to say, Mom, I know you put up with so much to get me where I am today. So here's just a little thank you. And you can do that through cspn.us and amazon.com. Do your shopping through us and whatever you Amazon, just a little bit with no extra charge. Helps us keep the podcast free to you every week, all the great shows that we have in the network. So, through cspn.us, do it today. Okay, Moto. So, coming up in a couple of months, July 1st, to be a matter of fact, we have the G1 popping off here in the United States this year for the first time ever. It's going to be in Los Angeles. Friday and Saturday. They're both sold out. Um, like we haven't announced any television as of yet, but hopefully in the next month and a half, that will be coming down the pike. And I know that you have some thoughts on what New Japan needs to do since they're really serious about trying to expand into the United States.
Absolutely. And this is a move that I would really, really like. I think that a lot of people probably are curious about Japanese wrestling, but don't want to, they're kind of afraid, they're kind of wary to make that step into it. And I think New Japan should strike while the iron is hot. I mean, with Wrestle Kingdom, with all these things, you can't just ignore New Japan anymore. They are a force to be reckoned with in the West, and for them to really uh, be a foothold here, they need a great television deal. I will say that Axis is probably not the network to do it, unfortunately, because not a lot of people get access. A lot of people have to pay more for access if they want. If they want to really get a television audience, they need a channel that most people can get easily. Um, Obviously, not USA for those reasons. Maybe TNT. I wouldn't say Fox, but I would say one of those channels that are kind of obscure, but not that obscure. Maybe like, Spike, FX, something like that. Those type of channels would be great for them. Also, I'm going to beg and plead New Japan. Do not, no matter how big the pressure may seem, they cannot copy what the WWE is doing in terms of like ridiculous backstage segments, the authority figures. Like, do what you do best. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Just expand it. If they go the route of trying to do what WWE is doing, they might as well just call it a day. They need to stick to what they know best, and that's them. Also, they need a brilliant commentary team if they go to TV. I said Mauro Ranallo. I stick by that. Also, watching the Revolution Pros event, commentators like that would be awesome. People who can be excited, be thrilled about the product, and tell the stories of these wrestlers in a concise and great manner for the audiences. Merch has to be readily available, and they just have to be consistent. What about you, Don? What do you think New Japan should do?
Yeah, I don't want them to try to like have an American version of their product versus like a Japanese version of their product. Yeah, I feel like you just transport over what you do, just put it on an American audience in front of an American audience. As far as the television, I don't know where they could go where you could get the ratings. Um, to kind of start off like that. I mean, they would probably have to start on Access just because they have the deal, and just kind of hope that they can get a day and a time that everybody can find it. And then maybe if somebody bigger offers them, when that deal is up, then they're gonna move from there. But I think it's gonna be hard for them to shop it to a or somewhere like that just right off the gate. I think their best bet is just, since they already have the inroads with Access, just kind of go with that and then see if they can grow it from there. Or maybe they can kind of make a deal like um, uh, Lucha Underground has with El Rey, where they're kind of like the number one thing on the channel, and they get all the promotion and all the commercials and everything kind of wants to get in on their program. Maybe they could work it out with Access like that, where hey, New Japan is our number one show, and everybody who else is on our station, all our other programming needs to be advertised during this 2 hours that this is on or whatever. So but I hope it goes well. I think the New Japan first couple of days here is just going to blow everybody out of the water. It's going to be a lot of fun, and hopefully they can broadcast it to the masses, and not just of us who have paid for the service, but everybody who's got a television set and HD TV and all that stuff too can get their feel for the first time. It'll kind of be like the first time they had that When Worlds Collide pay-per-view for Lucha Libre 1995, where it's like the first time people really got to see Conan and Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero and Art Barr and all these guys, and it just like opened it up to where they could be a part of WCW. So maybe this will do the same thing and just open it up so New Japan can be a part of the American wrestling landscape, because Lord knows TNA ain't cutting it.
Well, we all know, TNA, of course, is not cutting it. And I think that New Japan is probably the best chance for really good competition in America against WWE. I'm not saying they're going to beat WWE. I know that they're like a juggernaut, but competition breeds creativity. We all know this. It's great for the fans. And I would love for New Japan to expand and grow. And this also gives opportunities for American wrestlers who probably might not make it in WWE, who were, stiff due to backstage politics or whomever. And they can go to a company that will respect them. And it gives the wrestlers leverage, which we all know Vince McMahon does not want. So I think New Japan should do it. I hope they get to do it, and they really, I think they need to have this live broadcasted on a regular channel. I think it would do wonders for them, and it would do wonders for the fan base that they want to grow.
Right, right. So the only hard thing that they would have to is just how current could they keep it, just with the time difference. So that would probably be their only day. It would probably be best done on like a weekend. So you would at best only be like 3 or 4 days behind, because you can't. The only thing is you can't air a lot of stuff live as from Japan, because it's in the middle of the night, unless you're Moto and you stay up religiously.
Well, not everyone has my dedication, but that's fine, and not a lot of people have the time. Well, I was hearing that they might have like a New Japan America branch type of deal, which I think, long term would be great, because then they can work it out for the time, and then they can, go back and forth, and wrestlers can travel back and forth. And
Right.
and let's say they do that, you have, let's say, Kenny Omega be the face of that brand. To launch that would be huge, and then you have that. But they have to start off small. They can't just go big and blow out the budget.
Right. Right. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. big things are happening in the wrestling world, especially with New Japan. They've made a surge, especially if you follow the product in like the last 4 years or 5 years when they were kind of down, and everybody was like, "Oh man, I don't know if New Japan is going to make it." And they've actually, ever since Okada came back from TNA, they've just been on fire. So,
I mean, quality matches, quality wrestlers. I mean, their roster's so stacked. I mean, come on. It's just great to see that a company be dedicated to great storylines, great matches, and quality every time, no matter what it is, whether it be a minor tournament, whether it be a major tournament, whether it be a house show, you will get a quality product. You're not going to get someone phoning it in because these guys are trained to do their best every single time. And that's what I love about New Japan.
yep, and that's why we have this podcast. So, Moto, is there anything else that you'd like to rant or rave about?
Rant or rave? I've already had my little mini theory. I'm working on one, um, but I will not say what it is. It's going to be another controversial one, I'm sure. And that will be for next time. I'm sure you guys are going to be like, this woman is absolutely out of her mind if you haven't already. But that's fine because I'm the genius. I thank our fans, our listeners. Any feedback you like, you can, tweet me at JPKMoto and Don as well. And thanks, you guys, for all your support.
As well, I echo Moto's sentiments. Thank you for listening to Cast of Strong Style. Thank you for using the hashtag. Shout out to our man Don_Victor as he was watching Dontaku and doing some live tweeting using the hashtag. Had some pretty funny tweets. Some very astute observations about what can Kenny Omega and Okada do to actually top their match that they had at Wrestle Kingdom, as this might be the first ever 7-star match in the history of wrestling if these two can pull out something more epic than the first time. Again, check us out every couple of weeks here as we are presented by the WrestleCast at WrestleCast.tumblr.com, also on www.cspn.us. And for my co-host Moto, I'm Don De La Rente, and this has been episode 5 of Cast of Strong Style.